thumb. About a 10 there.
Yeah.
And what's that for you, Bryn? Like, how much pressure are you asserting for her 10?
4 or 5, yeah. So I'm just letting it uncharge, and I'm sort of changing the angle of the tool. Then I can start to bring it around and away from there. Oh, that's like music to my ears.
And that didn't crack before, did it?
It did,
Oh,
actually.
it did?
I thought it did at the very
It
start,
did.
didn't
It
it?
did through my wrist
Oh, yeah.
and back,
Yeah,
but not in my actual.
yeah.
So yeah, it's all just signs of letting go, you know? So now I'm gonna come in and start to work in between these,
On the back of the hand.
in between, I think these are called carpals or what?
Tarsal for the toe.
Tarsals for the toes. And then you get metacarpals, which are the ones in the,
Oh yeah, they're the ones further.
but aren't tarsals also for the, I thought that too, but aren't they also the fingers?
I thought they were only the toes.
Yeah, I did too for a long time, and I remember looking at a book and thinking, oh, maybe I'm wrong. But anyway,
I think
it's all that shit I completely fucking forgot.
Yeah,
Studied it
it's
for my
not
fucking
really-
exam, and then, you know?
It's not really important.
It's not
in
important.
Everyday life.
No, it's not. But here, in between these bones here,
And so
the hand
that's-
bones, you know? Yeah.
And so that's like, there's that, you know, like, for example, like I can feel that bit that comes down from the back of the finger. You're
Yeah.
in between
Yeah.
those, yeah.
In
yeah,
between.
and
So I'm
that's-
coming from both sides,
Yeah.
and then I'm sort of moving the hand like this.
So the hands are carpals and the toes and feet are tarsals.
Right.
So you got your metatarsals and your
Carpals.
yeah, your metacarpals and your metatarsals.
Okay.
And so when you do, like, if you use a tool down the hand, are you doing that hand or are you doing that in between?
Yeah, so
again on the
when I'm
inside?
using my hands and doing pressure points, I'm going between the bones.
Yeah. And
But
that's
when I'm using a tool, sometimes I'll actually come in and follow this
yeah,
tendon or whatever it is through here
yeah, yeah,
and cross over it with the tool
yeah, cool.
like that. And then we can like stretch open the hand and stretch open the thumb here and then apply pressure to that point.
Yeah.
And deep in there. There's several points within a point there.
Yeah.
And I usually just hold it and shake it. Another one right there.
Yeah.
And then I'll come into here. Here I could use one of the bigger tools. Can somebody grab me one of those like Thai massage wooden tools? Yeah, perfect. I find this tool particularly good for here, work up like this,
Yeah.
into this muscly area here.
Are you using the flat side?
The-
Or that one?
yeah.
Okay.
And so before you were stretching it out that way, like that, do you
Yep.
ever stretch like that to stretch?
Sometimes, not very often though.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because I don't do an awful lot of work on the back of the hand there.
Yeah.
If I did, I like a bit of oil there. So she's super tight through here, so I could just come in a little bit more, even with this, working on this band here, bottom little finger band. Then I can turn the little finger just to emphasize that. And just come in and do a little bit more. Just like a little bit there. And again, just feeling any more fingers that are gonna go. There, that was good.
Are you pulling on the same spot when you're cracking the different
Yeah, so
joints?
if I wanna get these two joints, either of them, I bend the finger like this
Yeah.
and pull, but if I wanna get this joint, I have to come in like this.
You like kind of bend it and then.
Yeah, and I bend it like that and then pull. And so it's a bit more awkward for me to get that because my hands are quite big.
Okay.
Definitely getting some nice looseness there in her hand. We can stretch her fingers. Still not perfect, but this is just a first, what I'd call the first run over. Then I can start. So I could just pick any of them basically and just start following. Whatever percentage I got out of the fingers, I should be able to get out higher up.
Yeah.
And I certainly don't feel I got 100% out because some of them were just too sensitive and I didn't want to overwork them.
Yeah.
So I can just start to work up that band there. Then I can come up here.
yeah, that band makes me feel sick because it gets so tight.
This outer wristband, yeah. You got the upper little finger band here, outer wrist here, outer thumb band here. And we got the inner thumb band here. And we can even do things like this where we kind of hold points while having the wrist like that. Move the hand, even shake while holding points. Now we've got the inner wristband. We can just do like that, bit of a shake. And then we can do that bottom little finger band that was so tight in here.
It's very tight there.
Very tight there as well, yeah. But again, that I didn't really work your little finger that much because I knew it was very sensitive, you know, I was pushing you up to your pain threshold very quick. So that might be something I tackle on the next treatment or bit by bit throughout treatment. So just gradually reduce some of this sensitivity in her little finger. Then I can come up through here. I often like to start holding two bands while moving the arm up and down, and then I could come up, or I could change bands. Can kind of hold and shake. You can see how the whole thing's now starting to get that loose, floppy kind of feeling to it. Then I can do some of these special moves that I was showing you where I hold in the shoulder. And then we can follow that up into here. And we can follow that up into her neck. Yeah. And as I say, whatever percentage I got out of her fingers should just be like, this tension should just melt like butter. Butter can be hard, but once you heat it up, it melts. So, you never want to go too hard into somebody's neck. If it's not releasing, it's held somewhere else. But I can just caress over this tension. Up and out of the shoulder blade, and bring that arm like that, and get in behind here.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's soft.
Yeah. Can also do things like this where we move the arm around while I'm just holding like this. Can rotate the elbow a little bit. And again, come back in here.
What band is that on?
Here would be the thumb, the outer thumb band, because it comes right up into here, and then you got your outer wristband beside it. So outer thumb and outer wrist.
Oh, that's like the heartstrings.
Yeah, they are. They're very tight.
And what's that one that goes under the collarbone? That's
Here,
Yeah.
inner thumb.
Inner thumb, yeah.
Inner thumb right in here.
I was trying to get it.
I thought you got mad for a minute.
What was that?
Yeah.
All right, so then I just come in and I see what else is going to let go, and I would still come back and do another session like on this joint here, because it's not quite, that's going to keep that outer wristband tight in here. Even her thumb could have another going over. That was a nice click I got there.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Which is then going to help gradually start to let this go where she's very tight. So it's just a case of persistence and how long you've got, you know? But I think that's enough for today. Thank you, Teresa, for being such a good model. Yeah. But yeah.